We now turn our attention to boxing and the fight coming up on the undercard of the Dillian Whyte Oscar Rivas fight scheduled for July the 20th. It's Dave Allen versus David Price. It's a hugely interesting fight between two of the most popular fighters in Britain, and it can go one of two ways. We've got David Price with his reach advantage and power connecting on David Allen and getting a stoppage probably before the sort of sixth round. Or we've got Dave Allen, the more durable fighter. He's able to take a lot of abuse. We've seen him do that against Luis Ortiz. We've seen him against Tony Yoka. I think he was stopped very late on against Tony Yoka. Went a long way with Yoka, who is well regarded, Olympic pedigree, great amateur background, and Dave Allen went with him for the best part of 10 rounds. So it's either going to be Allen's durability, with him coming on in the middle of the fight, sort of outlasting David Price. We know David Price has had those stamina issues in the past. He's got those 2 losses against Tony Thompson. He's got that loss against Sergei Kuzmin recently where he had to retire in the corner. I think it was with injury, but I think stamina played a part in that. He's had knockouts defeats to Alexander Povetkin, Erkan Tepa. Tepa was on a banned substance, so we have to give him some leeway on that. But these knockouts will have taken a toll on Price. Allen hasn't had any sort of nasty knockouts. He's had some good beatings. He's taken a lot of punches over some long, hard fights, but he's a younger, fresher man. So, you would have thought this fight will either go short if Price can land early on, or if it goes long, it plays into Dave Allen's hands. In the betting, you've got Dave Allen 8-11. You've got David Price as the outsider at 11-10. When I initially thought about this fight, I thought David Price may well be able to get Dave Allen out of there quickly, because Dave Allen comes straight to hand, sort of plods forward with a peekaboo defence. He's not known for his head movement really. He's there to be hit, and Dave Allen at 6'3". We've got David Price at 6'8". There's a reach advantage for Price. He should be able to land his jab. He should have a lot of success with his jab, and if he throws enough combinations and get his right hand away, you would have thought he'd have the ability to get Dave Allen out of there. Now, I've looked closely at their 2 most recent fights. Dave Allen against Lucas Browne. He won the fight with a body shot, a lovely body shot, which he landed on Browne. Up to that point, though, Browne had a lot of success, and the key with that was Browne was throwing combinations. Browne was being aggressive. He was trying to get Allen out of there. Browne seemed to know that his strength in this fight was power, and he needed to get Allen out of there quickly. And he made some pretty good efforts towards that. The question is, can David Price do that? David Price is sometimes a bit tentative. I watched him against Cash Ali. His level's above Cash Ali, but he was pretty tentative. Obviously, he was ahead in the fight. Ali wasn't doing much, but Ali was able to stick around and get to the sort of fifth round before that bite incident happened. And Ali shouldn't have really been able to do that. Someone of Price's power and experience, he should have been landing, throwing combinations, but he doesn't seem to have that attitude, He's got the power, but he doesn't seem to utilise it. He seems to do a tentative sort of, he has sort of this range-finding, pouring sort of action with his left hand, lands the odd jab, and he seems to be kind of waiting for the other fighter, sort of waiting to react to what the other fighter's doing. He shouldn't be doing that. Someone with his power should be imposing his power on his opponent and getting them out of there. Lucas Browne seemed to have that attitude. It didn't work out for him. Dave Allen got that lovely body shot away. But I would say Browne was probably up in the fight. Allen took some clean headshots from Lucas Browne. And, if David Price has any sense, he'll look to emulate that. But I kind of doubt that Price has that sort of style in him. I've seen it at the press conference as well, which was today. They were both being very respectful of each other. Price was saying how Dave Allen underrates himself and is a very able fighter. Dave Allen was saying nice things about Price as well. But just focusing on what Price was saying, it kind of plays into a theme over his career where I don't think he's had the confidence he should have for the size and power and ability he has. And that sort of reflects in his fighting style. He doesn't get on it. He doesn't go for the knockout, like Lucas Browne seemed to be doing early on against Allen, and that's what he needs to do. If he did that, he'd have a good chance of winning, and I'd be persuaded to take David Price at 11-10. But I just have doubts. I have doubts about his stamina, and I have doubts about his method and his ability to get someone out of there and just be, brutal. I just doubt that he has that in him. Lucas Browne seemed to have that in him, but he got hit by a body shot and it winded him, and that was that. I think Price will be able to has better stamina than Lucas Brown, and if he's aggressive early on, he should have a good opportunity to do well in the fight. But I don't really see it happening. I see Allen, who hasn't been knocked out as of yet, I believe. He's been stopped. Yeah, he has been stopped. Yoka stopped him, but he hasn't been, knocked out brutally. He's the younger man. I think that if he can get to about the 5th round, it will turn in his direction, this fight. I think Price will tire. You see him puffing and blowing. And Allen is used to just carrying on. He's used to just fighting on. He doesn't have a huge range of shots. He doesn't have a huge volume of shots. So it will take time for him to break Price down. So it's no good thinking about David Allen getting an early stoppage. I don't see that happening. Any early stoppage will be for David Price if he lands clean with his right hand. If Allen is going to win, it'll be late on, sort of rounds 7 to 12. If we look at the round grouped betting, we can see that David Price is available at 3 to 1, rounds 1 to 6. And I think if you're going to bet on David Price, you should be looking at that, because I don't see him having an advantage as the fight draws on. His advantage is his power. So if he lands clean, much the same way Allen was able to land clean on Nick Webb and knock him out, much the same way Allen was able to land on Lucas Brown with a body shot and get that stoppage, then Price, you'd look towards Price having a good chance. But if we're looking towards the fight going on past the 5th round, I really do think it turns to Allen, who will just slowly be able to pick up on Price, who will tire, be puffing and blowing. As I say, Allen doesn't throw that many shots, but he'll be throwing enough to grind Price down and get some sort of stoppage victory. So we'd have to be looking on the round group betting at Price rounds 1 to 6, 3 to 1. And then we'd be looking towards Allen round 7 to 12 if we were looking on the round group betting for him. I'm just looking up the price now for that on the round group betting for Allen. So I'll have a price for you for that in a minute, but I'll definitely be looking for at a late sort of 7 to 12 sort of stoppage for Allen. I think overall I'm going to lean towards Dave Allen. I think that Price has had enough chances, in his career to show that killer instinct to get people out early on, and we just don't see it. In that fight against Cash Ali, he could have blasted Ali out if he wanted to. He did okay. He had his pouring jab. He did throw a few combinations at times, but it wasn't convincing enough. It was even a stage in the 5th round where Ali threw a few wild looping hooks, and he got to Price a little bit for a tiny phase in the 5th round. Obviously, Price had the lion's share of success in that fight, and in the end Cash Ali pretty much gave up by going for the disqualification and biting him on the stomach. But I just think Price is going to have to go in there with that sort of Shannon Briggs attitude. People talk about Shannon the Cannon Briggs being dangerous for 3 or 4 rounds. He's in his mid-40s, but he's got a load of knockouts on his record, and he can get you out of there. He can dispatch lower tier fighters very quickly, and he's aggressive. Lucas Brown showed a little bit of that against Allen. I don't see that in David Price, and I think that's the problem. He's got to go, if he's going to win, he's got to go in there with that attitude, and I just don't expect him to come with that attitude because I haven't seen it from him in the past. So on the round group betting, Dave Allen round 7 to 12 is 3 to 1. So we've got Price rounds 1 to 6, 3 to 1, and we've got Allen round 7 to 12, 3 to 1. If I was going on round group betting, I'd be looking at those sort of 2 scenarios. And the outright betting, I'm going to lead with Allen at 8 to 11. I'm looking for Price to either retire or get stopped through exhaustion and stamina, and then just find that Allen is able to grind him down, lean on him, land some shots, and make things difficult for him. So that's the way I see it going. I'm going to lean with Dave Allen at 8 to 11 at this stage. There's a long way to go. The fight is on July the 20th, so we've got a couple of months to go really. But that's the way I see it going. I did early on think Price should have the power. You're always looking for Price's level. It's Dave Allen, tailor-made for David Price. He is in a way. Doesn't move around much. Shorter man. Should be on the end of Price's jab all night. But I just don't see Price getting him out of there in the sort of 4 rounds that he needs to. If you let Allen linger around, he'll creep up on you because he's got that superior stamina. And I can just see Price breaking down. He's 35 now, mid 30s. Through brutal knockouts on his record, that all takes a toll on you. Allen's a younger man. He's used to taking a few punches. I think he can take. It's going to hurt taking Price's jabs and combinations, but I think he can do it. And I don't think Price throws the number of combinations he needs with the intent, with the aggressive knockout intent that he needs to get someone like Dave Allen out of there. It's not easy to knock out Dave Allen. He's durable. He takes punches. You know, Allen can buy himself time with that durability and buy himself time for Price to tire, and that's what I think will happen in this one. So I'm going to side with Dave Allen on this one, 8-11. May even look at the round group betting, round 7-12. Victory for Dave Allen, you're getting 3-1. I think that's a good price. Give your comments on this one. I know there's going to be a lot of controversy on this one. There's going to be a lot of mixed opinions. It's a genuine 50-50 as far as I'm concerned. I think it's going to be a great fight. It's going to be hugely entertaining. It's going to be, people are going to be as interested in this, or if not more interested in this one than the main event, which is Oscar Rivas against White. But it'll be a good one. Enjoy. Give your comments until then. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time.